Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to GPVWC Super League. This evening, you join us in Hungary at the Hungaroring. 70 laps ahead of us tonight. Looking forward to it. So on commentary today, it's myself, Ryan Elliott, joined by Eoin Harmon. No Caitlin Penny tonight, unfortunately, due to work commitments, can't join us. So bringing Eoin in for this one, and possibly next round too as well. I know Caitlin can't make the next one, which will be a big miss, but I'm sure she'll be watching along.
Yeah, it's a great shame for Caitlin. I know how much she puts her time and effort into these commentaries, but yeah, I'll do my very best to sub in for her. And yeah, the Hungarian Grand Prix and the Belgian Grand Prix in the next month should deliver plenty of excitement with the championship hotting up.
I don't know about you, but I'm really hoping that this qualifying session is going to look somewhat like it did in Formula 1 last weekend. It was absolutely fantastic to watch in the real world, and I know it's going to deliver the same for us this evening. So we're just starting to see the first laps come in. So people have had their out laps. The first banker lap, people just trying to get a lap on the board. Look how close it is already. Well, I say that as Tom Stevens tops it by like 6/10, but people just trying to get that first lap in. All it takes is getting one decent lap, and then they can start to push in the middle of the session. Obviously try not to make mistakes. With the make mistakes is not quite as important, and then try to get that final lap in towards the end when the most grip appears on the track.
Absolutely, yeah. And indeed, 2 weeks ago at the British Grand Prix, it was still pretty intense in the qualifying. A matter of tenths were in it. Yeah, let's see if anyone else can make a name for themselves today with the next half of the season approaching. So yeah, it's Owen McGoggy, my almost namesake, currently topping the timesheets, but Jake Dennehan, the championship contender here, wants to bring more glory to Edge, and he duly does so, getting a 1 minute 14.3 in. So beautiful lap there from Jake.
Yeah, other than last time out, it was just a bit of a strange one, really. There was a gap between P1 and 2 of about a tenth and a half, but that second backwards to about 10th was maybe like a tenth in it. It was ridiculously close, and it's probably going to be even closer around here, with obviously the lap only being sort of in the low 1 minute, or 1 minute 14 that we're at the moment. It's quite a short lap, and you know, I said before, 70 laps sounds like a lot, but here, you know, it's quite a short track, only 4.3, nearly 4.4 kilometers long. So really high commitment track as well. Like that first sector going into the second sector is unbelievable. That go up the hill is fantastic to watch. Hopefully we'll get a cool on board of it at some point, as we see Philip Pushka on an outlap, just setting himself up down this quite relatively short straight when you think about it. And what leads to the most, probably the corner where we're going to see some of the most action, really heavy braking zone. Nice, hits the apex into turn 1.
And the hill coming up, as you say, so yeah, nice combo of left and then a right as well, all downhill.
It's really interesting, that turn 2. In real life you see a lot wider line, but Pushka going a little bit tighter. Look at the commitment through there in 6th gear. Unbelievable to watch. It's very difficult to do when you're actually driving, especially in the race when your rear tyres are going off. It's quite hard to hold on to, but I was about to say Pushka doing a good job, but he just mounts that curve in the chicane, goes straight over.
Yeah, but I suppose 10 minutes to go in the session, he can brush off that mistake, just getting too much curb here at the chicane. He'll just have to try again next time, but I'm sure, yeah, if it's going to be an aborted lap, it better be now rather than at the very end.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to get your mistakes out of the way in this middle part of the session.
On board with Ruben Machete. Let's see if he can make any inroads from P20, as basically he's a 20th driver on the scoreboard. He needs to actually get a banker lap in, and it's a very reasonable lap there, a 1 minute 14.3. Oh, and a mistake for the other Nocturne, Mike Quint. Very familiar name in my other Thursday events with Ed Hunter, the FS1. He's bashed it into the barrier, and he's lost his rear wing.
That's the worst place for it to happen as well, because we don't do any escaping in this league, so he's going to have to drive all the way around to the pits now with no front and rear wing. just to get back out for the end of the session. So that's not great from him there. So yeah, Eros Masculi improving up to P19. Let's see what Chris Shepherd can do. Already in P14, green sector 1 and 2. So this looks like it's going to be an improvement as long as he holds on to it. Let's see what he does across the line. P12, just a slight improvement.
Yeah, still plenty more where that came from Chris. Tomasz Vok, currently up behind the top 10 here for RSR. His target, probably try and get past those Adonis cars. Maybe see if there's any gaps further up the field, but no, he just swaps places with Stefan Rualt. That's Edge Esports, one driver on the top 10 and the other at the very end of it as well.
Yeah, Stefan Rualt's having a little bit of a better qualifying than he's had so far in previous races. At least he's been a little bit quiet as a former champion. Definitely been in the shadow of Dennehan, which still kind of is, but it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows for Stefan this season. It's been pretty tough, and he's still doing his part though, contributing to the team's championship. We see Mogyoród without a front wing out at that second to last corner. But yeah, going back to the team's championship, Edge just slightly behind THR, who currently, 26 points in the lead, extending that pretty dominant lead so far as well, in the rookie season as well, which is great effort from that whole squad. I mean, the group of guys we've got working together, working an absolute dream across the THR Nocturne team, so doing a good job. Also Super Venturi having a really good run. Jan Granquist currently on P3, who last time out had a 10-second penalty which demoted him from the podium as well, which is a bit frustrating for him, but that's racing. It was contact with, I believe, Machete that got him that penalty, yeah. But he still holds on to it with just 2 license points into P4, I believe, though. Could have been a lot worse, but doing okay to see. Tom Harvey, I didn't see if that was an improvement actually, I think it might have been.
And Mark Schluter wants to consider getting his first lap time registered, but unfortunately it's going to be this one. He retreats to pit lane. Maybe needs to study the telemetry and just see exactly what's going on before he can nail that lap. And Philip Pushka now has a time set, time 1 minute 15.8, so he's on the second to last row as things stand. Now we're going to check out Tom Stevens here. He's one of the THR drivers, so let's see how he hangs it. He's all over the shop unfortunately here, Ryan, so he's got to gather that up quickly.
Absolutely wrestling that car. Like every corner that we watched him there, he had some sort of moment on the rear end. I mean, it was fun to watch as a spectator, but I would not wanted to have been behind the wheel for that. And he was pretty good in Sector 1. It seems like people are matching Sector 1 of Dennehan, but that Sector 2 is so impressive compared to everybody else.
Yeah, that's definitely the difference maker. More than half the corners on the lap are within Sector 2. The medium speed corners can bring out a lot of demand on the tires, as you said earlier. Zolt Sux gets P9 there, pretty much retaining the position. No improvements as far as I saw. And now Machete's going to try again here. No, that's another conceded lap. And these cars are really being put on the ragged edge.
Very twitchy, that's for sure. And this is the opposite of what sort of car I like to drive. Quite like an understeering car, but looks like the rear end of this car is really working for these THR Nocturne guys. Let's see if Mike Quinn can improve. His sectors are looking better, but a little bit loose out of the rear corner. He improves 3 positions into P17. Every position helps. And just outside of that 1 second mark, as he drops down again, actually, as Masculi goes up to P13. Good luck from him.
Yeah, looks good. Unfortunately, Eoin McGoggy, he had the purple Sector 1. And it was not able to be followed up by, in the next sector, Jake Dennehan with 4 minutes to go almost. I don't believe he'll finish that lap, but Matthew Williams, though, if he can set another green, yeah, he's definitely up here, Ryan. Just got to get the final 3 corners secured, and he'll be able to get the Mode Auto Concepts perhaps into a points-paying position on the grid. He just needs to hook it up now in this final corner. Yeah, he stays nice and neat to the apex, no wobbling from that camera view. So can he finally do it? Yes, he can. P12, great job.
Definitely from him, especially in the mode car, probably one of the more underdeveloped ones this season. Obviously a brand new team to Super League this time, and Matthew Williams, very experienced driver, former Superleague champion I believe as well, so definitely knows how to pedal a car, done quite a few appearances. Stefan Ruot goes P7. Look at the gap, I can't believe how far ahead Dennehan is, really. You know, that P5 backwards is just all within a couple of tenths of each other, but that top four are looking, well, top three really are looking pretty dominant so far. Panzer nearly 2 tenths off the back of Granquist. So the gaps at the top are quite split, but in that mid-pack everybody's so close together. Moose was purple in that sector 1 there. Seen a lot of people getting close, obviously he is the shorter of the sectors, but can't quite get it together where it matters, which is sector 2. See Tom Stevens improving in sector 1 and 2. Still doesn't look like he'd be challenging for pole unless he really hooks something up in this final sector. He goes in the last corner now. Let's see what he can do. It's going to be an improvement, I think, because he didn't abort into the pits. Keeps it clean on exit. P4. Every little one position.
One extra gain. As we saw, probably in FS1, there were times where the drivers were perhaps not as good in qualifying, but their ability to progress in the race was mixed based on whether they had the ability to get side by side or not. And some drivers who qualified well, I remember one driver in particular just had an awful time of it in the race itself, and he fell away towards the end as the change of conditions certainly spoiled his strategy. But no trouble here as we head to the last minute and 45. Lino for Pescara does gain some positions there. P23 is his outcome there.
See what Chris, never mind, he fails in the pits again as well. But it's interesting that you talk about conditions. It's looking very dry currently. We've come off the back of a couple of, I wouldn't even really call them wet, very changeable races. You know, we had rain in Canada and in Silverstone, which was not for the entire Grand Prix. You know, it went, well, in some cases it went slick to wet to slick. And that provides some entertaining racing, but I think these guys just want a dry race where they don't have to focus on that kind of strategy again. Some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I absolutely love it, but see masculine.
Oh no!
Oh, never mind. I was about to say, look at how well he took that corner. Almost commentator cursed him, but he already went round before I even got to it.
Indeed, yeah, I should correct myself. I was in the booth for FS2 as a substitute rather than FS1, so there were drivers in the changeable conditions who found it either to their benefit or they really struggled. But yeah, indeed, the dry strategies should be employed here. And Granqvist almost took too much grass on there, but thankfully he rescued it, and now he's able to go into the sweepers now. Can he cross the sector line with an improvement? Yes, so he needs to find another 10th to get a personal best here, and maybe give Eoin McGoggy here, who's subbing in for HRT. He's doing a splendid job so far, and Jan just no, he's not going to improve his lap, and the checkered flag is now out, so anyone who has a lap to complete will be allowed to complete it, such as Jake Dennehan, purple, on his own split time here in sector 1. Now he's got to hook it up and make sure he consolidates Paul, Ryan.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Look how fast the car is through that sector. It's so fast and sweeping, but not an improvement in sector 2. But as we've seen Max Verstappen do in the past, all it takes is one hooked up sector to really extend that gap. And I mean, he's already got a good 10th over Gorgie, so let's see what he does. He's staying out, which a little bit of understeer in that middle part of the corner, but gets a good exit. Does he improve? Yes, he does. New target time at the top, improves by about 300ths of a second that time round. Let's see what McGorgy can do. Coming out the last corner again. Nice exit, opens up the DRS. Improves and goes pole. Provisional pole. Fantastic lap by Eoin McGorgy. Wow.
Yeah, Stefan Ruel is P9, so that's no improvement, but it was a little improvement earlier on. He must have set that best lap earlier. But yes, Eoin McGoggy has stolen the show here, and Jake Dennehan will have to make do with his P2. So an absolutely splendid choice here for HRT to give Eoin McGoggy a shot when the other drivers are unavailable. And they are Yannis Volborn and Pascal Pollens. They're not able to participate, but there we go. HRT secure the pole with Eoin McGoggy and his 1 minute 14.3, Ryan.
Fantastic lap, and you know, I'm just reading the chat. Somebody called everyone's a sausage, saying McGoggy will pull off the most insane lap, and I can already feel it. And look at it, he's only gone and done it. Absolutely, and then to conclude the session, we'll go through the rest of the grid with Dennehan just 200ths behind there. Jan Grankvist a quarter of a second out of luck there, and Tom Stevens P4 with Pansar, Harvey, Moose, Lalu, Ruwalt and Vok in the top 10. Yeah, good effort from Tomasz, but he'll be kicking himself if he didn't get P11 there, so he could have had the open strategy.
Yeah, that's one consequence of being in the top 10, but yeah, there's still plenty of options if you have set your time on the softs and can probably extend them out for a stint. But Zolt Stux, Martz Kropp, Matthew Williams, Daniel Stepkowski and Ruben Machete are in the points paying positions as things stand. Eros Mesculi, Chris Shepard, Mike Quint, Alex Lahu and Mark Schluter have completed the top 20, so they will be all thinking about their strategies with free tire choice. Completing the grid of 25 drivers, we've David Fiduk, P21 for Stacks, Fabian Styrix for Green Stripes, Philip Puschke also of Stacks, Giuseppe Lino for Pescara, and Florian Geyer for Mod Auto Concepts.
Bit of a disappointing session for the Stacks guys. You know, two former champions in that team. I know they'll have wanted a little bit more, but if there's anyone I know who can just pull off a strategy and turn his night around, it's definitely David Fiduk. He just comes out with the weirdest strategies and just makes it work every time, it feels like. It'll be interesting to see what he can do from his P21 that he qualified there. But great little quali session there. Really, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't expect that from McGoggy. I knew he was fast, obviously he was P2 for the entire session, but I really thought Dennehan had the measure of everybody, but clearly not. Clearly not. It's going to be an interesting race to see. Obviously McGoggy stepping in as a reserve driver or emergency driver, can't remember which way around he is actually, but just doing this race. So do we think he's gonna put up much of a fight with Dennehan? Obviously Dennehan trying to go for the championship, currently our points leader as well by 5 points over Tom Stevens. What do you think?
Personally I think he's got I'm sure the team will back him to go for the win. They know, I see in his championship tally, he got a podium back in Azerbaijan. So yeah, I think they'll want to see him give Jake Dennehan food for thought. And if they can give him a winning strategy, they'll go for it. But yeah, I'd imagine if it's a side-by-side battle and he loses out maybe in the braking zone, then he'll just have to counter-attack later on. They won't demand him to retake the lead. It won't be pressure situation if they drop a couple of points compared to if he lost all 20 or 25.
The only thing I will say, HRT and Edge are like sister teams. So do we think there might be some team orders in play? I'm not sure. And you know, I wouldn't blame them if they did, to be honest, because you know, Dennehan, yes, he is top of the table, but only by 5 points over Stevens as it stands. So it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think the guys would stop Eoin from going for a win. I really don't, but it'll be interesting to see. We've got 70 laps to decide. Like, you never know, somebody might go bowling into turn one like Bogdan did a couple of years back. Who knows? But it'll be interesting for sure. I think strategy tonight's looking kind of between a 2 and a 3 stop, just depending on obviously where you qualified as well, and what tire you're going to start on. So yeah, it's really hard to tell, to be honest. I wish I had more free time to do laps in these cars ahead of the commentary, so that I kind of had a bit more of an idea of what to expect, what tyre wears and stuff, but just don't have the time to do this at the moment. I haven't even driven this year's Super League car. It's that bad. That's how busy I've been with work this year. But I'm sure I really want to get behind the wheel again, and maybe not in Super League, because obviously I'm commentating all year, but in another league, in another category, sorry. Might be open for it, that's for sure. But car looks great this year. I don't know if you agree.
It's just a beautiful design. I totally agree with it. Obviously, the previous spec of car delivered some outstanding races. You think back to the title decider between Rualt and Yannick Bock, for example. That was one of the greatest you could ever dream of seeing. Yeah, these cars, I think they look the business, and they have raceability about them. So yeah, I think a new look is the right way forward for Super League. So yeah, here's some more, and fingers crossed this generation of car will carry on for the foreseeable.
Yeah, even in real life, I'm loving this new generation of Formula 1 car. The looks of it, I actually quite like, to be honest. I know it was a bit Marmite at first, but I'm really enjoying it. I think the halo adds to the race cars these days as well. I was never really anti-halo, but I think it makes them look good. Don't know why. And even on the sim, I mean, it's weird on the simulator compared to real life, because you know your vision doesn't blur out the halo like it does in real life, but still a cool feature, and thankfully we can disable it as well.
Yeah, it suits the angles of this particular car a bit more with the curved wing. It's aimed to reduce the wake and produce dirty air. So yeah, definitely the curvature is certainly better compared to how it was. I still think there's plenty more where this car comes from, but yeah, as of right now, the title showdown, it's a 2-horse race between Denahan and Stevens. So yeah, let's see if that carries forward for the remaining races, as the European leg is almost all over, and then we head to Asia and then South America for the finale.
So, I'm just quickly looking through the history of the Hungarian Grand Prix. So we actually have some former winners still on the grid with us. Some that are of note. Rualt has won here in the past. Pushkar is a double winner here. Vidoc's won here as well. That makes three guys on the grid still that have previously won a Hungarian Grand Prix in Super League. Some other names that are on there. Yannick Bock was the winner in 2020. Didn't come here in 2021, unfortunately. Or 2019. Or 2015, actually. Oh no, yeah, we did in 2015, sorry. Who else? Alex Siebel, Rudy Van Buren. That name seems to come up a lot when we talk about previous winners in Super League. And then, yeah, it was Pushkar for 16, 15, Vidok for 14. Some really old names down there as well. Kieran Ryan, Laurent Kiesmaker as well. Wonder if Laurent's watching the stream today or not. Obviously working with the Edge HRT team these days.
Indeed, yeah. The track kind of bounces in and out of the calendar, particularly in recent years. The odd number years didn't feature. Now the even years did. So now this is a bit of a booking of the trend. Obviously, this is an odd number year. So yeah, it's back as a regular staple. So yeah, hopefully the drivers are all familiar now that they've had 3 goes of it in the last couple of seasons.
In a traditional sense, it's not known for its racing. There's quite a lot of fast corners, not many stops. But in sim racing, you could put us in Monaco and it'd still be a great Grand Prix. Doesn't quite have the same effect as it does in real life, but I think we're going to see some great action around here and some proper racy moves going on left, right, and centre. I mean, this was only I think the Grand Prix this year only had about 16 overtakes or something like that. I saw online. It's the least overtakes all year at a Grand Prix, but I think we'll do that in just about a lap in Super League. Especially lap 1, it goes absolutely crazy.
Yeah, that is certainly a bit bleak in terms of the quantity, but what matters is if the quality of the moves were valuable to the race or to the particular drivers involved, then that's probably worth waiting for. But hopefully today, the ability to go down to turns 1 and 2, they're both DRS assisted, so there is ability to plot a move through there. There were some cases back last Tuesday, the Tuesday before, with turn 4, there were some daredevil moves. Some worked out, some did not for those FS2 drivers. And then if you're very lucky, you could possibly get a move done into 12. That would really require someone going way off the piste at turn 11. But there are a few overtaking points. It's mainly about outsmarting your rivals, whether they're in front or behind.
Yeah, with my level of talent, I wouldn't be making a move into turn 4. I just could not trust the rear end through there, even on a normal lap in clean air, let alone trying to make a move on somebody. But these guys are absolutely top quality sim racers, and I bet we'll see a couple. It'll be harder in a Super League car than obviously FS2, FS1, but it'll still happen. I bet it'll happen, and hopefully it comes off and we catch it on stream so that we can give some praise to whoever's brave enough to do it.
Yeah, and that's warm up as quick as it starts. It's almost over. Those 10 minutes have flown by, and thankfully there's plenty of build up when the drivers are zooming around. But to take heed of the standings, Mogyoród has gone fastest again. Would have won 19.8. So all the fuel and appropriate tires on display for him, and then Grankvist second and Rualt third. So it seems like Rualt fancies it more so in the race with his strategy and setup compared to his 9th place on the grid.
Yeah, everybody now trying out the different tyre compounds and putting some fuel in the car, preparing themselves for the race. It's quite hard to switch out of quali mode, isn't it? You used to go and flat out, and then you're having to manage tyres all in a click of the fingers. I'm just trying to read the YouTube chat, see if anybody's got anything to say before we start this race. Seeing a lot of Mogyoród support. See Chris Butcher's in the chat, Sandeep Singh as well. Biz Goose as well, making an appearance.
Yeah, great to see you. So welcome.
Good on agreeing with what I said about Stacks, obviously that being his team. Not the greatest, but let's see what they can make of it. They'll turn it around, I'm sure. I'm absolutely sure of that.
Yeah, I'd wish them all the best of luck, I suppose. Stacks, regular point scorers, but they've had DNFs for one driver. It was either Fiduk or Pushka. Either one of them were unable to see the finish, whereas the other did, back in Montreal and Silverstone. Their aim will be to try and get another double score. They're well able of doing it. So let's see how they get on. Yeah, they're trying to catch up to Adonis, just 5 points behind them in the championship.
Yeah, good point. They're sitting P7, 80 points. Really, really good effort for them. I'm just reading in the chat. This is something I 100%. Actually, I shouldn't have said that. That clashes. 100% Cup Series has said hoping for a Red Archer resurgence. And I 100% agree with 100% Cup Series. They have had a horrid start to the year. It's been awful. These Red Archer team is, I believe, it is the longest standing team on the grid currently. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but they've just really nothing has gone their way this season so far. And obviously, we're trying to remain unbiased, but Nikos really deserves a result from that team, and hopefully Hungary can deliver. Obviously, I can only be unbiased about everybody else, but my own team, I want to win all the time, obviously. But I'll try not to talk about them for the next hour and a half or however long this race is going to be.
Yeah, in fairness to Red Archer, they've had some class drivers like Matthias Moos, Thomas Harvey, and Wright Kilk as recently as 2021. So it is a great shame to see them down in the dumps. But I remember Adonis from the glory of a championship with Adam Maguire. They've now recovered some of their losses in the turmoil that they suffered, but hopefully the same sort of blessings will eventually arrive for Red Archer, and they can rebuild their prestige as we head to the grid now. And let's have a look at the drivers once more as they begin their formation lap. It's Owen McGoggy, who grabbed the pole position at the last gas moment ahead of Jake Dennehan, with Jan Grankvist and Tom Stevens completing the first two rows. Robin Pansar for Adonis Engineering getting the top 5. Thomas Harvey for Holland Racing, P6, another substitute for them. Matthias Moos, still with Red Archer, of course, and Jukapella Lalu in 8th. Stefan Ruwalt, aforementioned there. Let's see how he gets on from 9th. Tomas Fock, P10. Zod Sux and Moritz Kropp, 11th and 12th. Matthew Williams, Daniel Stepkowski, and Reuven Machedi have P13 through 15 worth some points, with Eros Mashkuli or Pescara wanting to get involved with that group. Chris Shepard, Mike Quint, Alex Lahu, and Mark Schluter have the top 20 from 17th down. The ever experienced David Fiduk is 21st. Fabian Strux has P22. Philip Pushka, teammate of Fiduk, 23rd. Giuseppe Lino is 24th. And then finally, on his own there in 25th, it's Florian Geyer. There we go, Ryan. So any last minute thoughts of your own that you could possibly deduce?
I have a million thoughts, but I'm never going to cover all of them by the time we get to the grid. So I'll say one thing, and this is something I like to try and do before every race. Prediction. Do you want to lead, or am I taking the lead? Who do we think's going to win?
Goodness gracious. Yeah, could possibly. Yeah, I'd have to fancy Dennehan. I know it's nationality bias there, but yeah, it just seems like he has the form of his life at the minute, and he can continue it here in Hungary. So how about yourself?
I'm going to go, and I can't even believe that I'm saying that this is a curveball, because it's not really, it's a quality driver. I'm going to say Granquist. He absolutely nails the strategy every round. I don't think I've seen him get the strategy wrong once. And at a track like this with quite high deck, you know, I think he's got a good chance at it. So, little bit of a bold prediction, looking at how dominant the top two were, but I'm going to stick with it. Get that first Super Venturi win.
Yeah, I think people love a bold prediction, even if it fails. It just shows that a bit of tenacity to make sure you have spotted something maybe others haven't. But yeah, I'm going to play it safe. Now Dennehan from P2 there, number 23 for Edge, with the lights illuminating 4 and 5. Let's see how they get on now. And the launch is certainly better there for McGoggy. And Dennehan was slightly in behind. Grankvist and Stevens also compliant there. Let's see if anyone ventures into the deep inside. Oh, you can see Tom there for THR getting close. And it's going to be a run down to the second corner, side by side here, Ryan. But Eoin is going to close the door.
I think Dennehan left a bit on the table there. I think he really could have got the jump into turn 1, but thought better of it. You see them go side by side, Tom Stevens and Jan Grankvist through there. And what did we say? Moves into turn 4, gets it done on the inside, keeps it straight. Good effort from Grankvist. Another one there, Mashkuli. Now heading for the outside though of turn 5. Slots in behind, back into P14. We've got yellow in sector 2. Who's that's gone off? That looks like Alex Lahu has gone off. And he's round. Another disappointing evening for the Epic Racing team. Stepkowski down a couple of positions as well from the original P14 starting position. But everybody already seems to be settling into a bit of a rhythm. Let's see how long that lasts for.
Yeah, no one with medium tyres or the hards have snuck into the top 10, so it is a very stable beginning. on board with Tom Stevens, who knows this is a crucial point in the season, and if he loses further points to Denahan in the standings, yeah, he'll be certainly ruining that day. But if he can get third place at least, you'll know he'll be the one who will put pressure on Denahan. A very personal matter that, with the championship on the line now, with the outside line in turn 2. Can he get it done? Oh yeah, that's a sweep, clean as you like.
He gets it done. I'm surprised. It's a really tricky one between turn 1 and 2, because what is the inside for turn 1 turns into the outside for turn 2. It's not always the best overtaking opportunity, but again we see Sapkowski get the move done on Matthew Williams as well, which is good. We've got a replay here. Is this the move? This is Alex Lahou's crash, so he dropped down a few positions to begin with and just loses the rear.
Oh,
yeah,
snap.
Which on the rear, yeah, snaps away from him. Looks like he hasn't got any damage, but probably will have to pit for some new tyres. Looks like he's probably flat spotted them ones. They're on the hards as well, so you don't want to. Yeah, look at that snap. You wouldn't want to drive on them, would you, for the next however many laps?
No, I want to get rid of those in a short while anyway. I know that's probably not the plan. Yeah, he'll just have to grit his teeth and resume. But as we see, Mogyoród has settled into the lead now that DRS will become enabled. This will be Denahan's first chance to go for the attack, or if he decides to stay behind and wait for an opportunity later. But Ruben Machete has no time for waiting. He wants to make this pass stick against Zolt Sux, and it's pulled off so far. Is there a counter-attack on the line? No, there's not. But now with Nocturne, there's contrasting fortunes with Mike Quint down to 24th.
Yeah, looks like something happened there. We kind of got on to him when he was a little bit wide into turn 1. Not quite sure what happened, but might get a replay of it here. Yes, we do. Looks like he's fighting with a stacked race in cars. What happens? He just goes deep. So nothing particularly other than just going a little bit deep into the corner, which is weird. I was kind of expecting a little bit of contact or something, but at least there was no contact. That saved the stewards some effort. He's going very slowly. Dropped a few seconds off the back of the guys in front. Maybe he's got some damage or something. I'm not too sure. Might have missed something else. But the two at the front running away a little bit from Stevens. Got a good 1.4, 1.5 second gap between them. And Stevens is really going to have to push hard and probably use up a bit of that rubber to catch up into the DRS of these guys. If you can just get in that DRS, that'll really make the rest of his evening a lot easier. It's either that, or he's going to have to go short and undercut the life out of these guys to get in their DRS.
Yeah, it would require a significant undercut to get that done, but we're checking out Eros Masculi at the moment. Pescara overall will be very impressed with the start. Both drivers gaining 7 positions between them, with Lino there 19th, the best gainer early on according to those stats on the leaderboard. One big change there, Tom Stevens third, ahead of Grankvist and Ruwald. Yes, he has made a difference in the race, plus 3 positions for him.
Yeah, good effort. Yellow in sector 1. Yeah, looks like Mike Quint's DNF'd. There was some issue there. He was going really slow. Didn't look like he had any damage to the car though, so it could be hardware related. You never know. Hopefully one of the Nocturne THR guys can answer that one for us in the chat. That would be appreciated. I know I've seen Butcher in the chat, so hopefully you can let us know. In the top 2 again, just staying, well, actually extending the lead a little bit, probably by about a 10th that time round. These two just working together. Obviously Denham with the DRS now. He can just sit back, relax, save a bit of tyre, and just get on with the rest of his evening and just wait for the pit stops to unfold. He seems to just, you know, that first stint, he's staying there or thereabouts with the pack, and then in previous races, as soon as the pit stops hit, he just drives away. Just gets the strategy really good every time. His tyre deg has been fantastic all year. See a little battle forming here between the P13, 14 and 15th, the back end of the points. Detkowski wanted to move forward so that he's got a little bit of a buffer. get more points for RSR. More points equals more prizes. Currently sitting P4 in the team's championships, powered by RSR. My team, that is. A little bit off the way from Super Venturi, and Super Venturi doing a good job with their drivers sitting currently P4 and P10. Lalu down, I think, one position from the start, and same with Grankvist as well, actually.
Yeah, RSR, they're just missing that a little bit extra in terms of trophies in the cabinet with the one podium this season. Super Venturi have 4 combined. Grankvist getting the bulk of those, but yeah, he wants to go as close as he can to a victory today. At the moment he's 4th, but Denahan and McGoggy almost blow for blow, equally matched, but Masciuli going neck and neck here. It's a great battle with Zooks. They're inseparable themselves, and Masciuli for the moment has got that position off Zooks, and now he's going to try and hang on to it with Stepkowski in P15 applying some similar pressure there.
Yeah, quite a clean move that, and Stepkowski will be furious. I think he would have wanted them to battle a little bit harder so he could have capitalised, but already Masciuli putting a little bit of a gap to Zoltz behind him, so maybe it's probably too early for the tyres to be wearing, especially these guys not starting on the softs. Majority on hards, I remember seeing from the graphic. It's really hard to see. A lot of these teams this year have gone for a yellow or red or whatever little strip around the outside of the wheel, which makes you think that they're on different tyres. It's quite hard to see without the timing tower showing us.
Oh, here we go.
The inside gets it done with the DRS. Quite an easy move.
Yes, let's get away into the run down to turn 2. Looks formidable also. And McGoggy had absolutely no response to that. He was beaten on pure horsepower there. Now here's the attempt of Stepkowski now, and he's through. So Zooks is having a torrid time of it in these laps. Yeah, he just needs to stay patient. He's on the hard tyres, so he doesn't need to panic. He's lost out on 2 places in as many laps. But yeah, now drivers with similar compounds, Williams, Shepard, Schluter, all behind, and they are probably going to be equally matched depending on how each team has built their car and upgraded it. So yeah, that's a key factor with this kind of track. It's not as common to have the low and medium speed corners, certainly in the European leg.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at them tyres, Stepkowski really needs to capitalise in this early part of the race. Starting on the soft tyre, which is questionable, maybe indicates that he's going for a 3-stop. It kind of depends what your preference is as well. I'd personally always opt for the extra stop because I like a little bit more rear stability. As we see Tom Stevens as our first pitter there from P3, absolutely makes sense. He needs to get a good outlap here, as it looks like he's switched onto the hards, so that he can close up that gap to P2. He was a good 2 seconds off the back of McGoggy going into that pit stop window there, so needs a really, really good outlap. And he's got a nice bit of clear air as well to do it in. Brought him out into good space, but give it a lap and I think he'll already be on the back of Fabian in front of him.
Yeah, you certainly called that one, Ryan. Tom needing that undercut to salvage his ability to contend for the victory. So yeah, this is his chance now to get clear air and build up the temperatures and avoid hopefully too many queues with the drivers also on hard tyres in this kind of range. I'm sure Edge and HRT have both noticed what's going on, and they'll probably give Jake and Eoin the signal to either pit or hurry up. So in Owen's case, he's going to pit.
Yep, makes sense. Obviously Eoin being the closest to Stevens just has to box opposite, which is exactly what he's done, but I think Denahan's got a little bit more of a buffer, and if I'm going to be honest, I mean, it's the right move. I think Denahan will have assuming he pits next lap, he'll have another lap of fresher tyres, as we see his teammate though, Stefan Rualt, pitting in behind. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's the absolute worst feeling in the world when you get the pit strategy like that, and it looks like Stevens is going to make the move around the outside. Tyres are up to temperature a little bit more. Doesn't have the DRS, so a little bit of tyre banging into turn 2. Can Mogyoród hold it around the outside? Whoa, a little bit of contact. And he submits. Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, bless me, that was very close. And thankfully, there was a resolution by turn 3, and there was no need to go any further than that. But yeah, Mogyoród losing out as that undercut worked fantastically. So let's check out the race replay. On board with Mogyoród now. So there's Tom Stevens on the outside. He's got a beautiful exit, and yeah, it's going to be neck and neck here on the tyre banging. And unfortunately, just Eoin is stuck in the middle of the corner. He gives a nudge there, but yeah, at that stage, Tom had the ability to go clear and took that position for himself. And now immediately Edge realised it's time to respond and get the fresh tyres on. Similarly, we've Robin Pansar and Jukapela Lalu in the pits as well.
Yeah, I think Stevens going to be given a little bit more space. Not Stevens, sorry, other way around. I think Mogyoród could have given a little bit more space there, but it's what it is, and he comes out ahead of Tom Stevens, and he has a car in between them as well, so that has worked out perfectly for Danahan. He's got 2 laps fresh tyres, and he's got a car in between, which means he's going to be able to extend his gap. And he would have been rubbing his hands hearing about those two having a little bit of a battle, because that's just helped him create just that little bit extra of a buffer. It might have been close if we'd come out without that battle there, but Stevens at least up 1 position for now, and with only 1 lap difference between the tyres, I think that's well worth the undercut there. I think that's worked out really well for THR, at least for P2. For P1, I think it's going to be tough now. With a couple of lap older tyres. See our current race leader, Jan Granquist, hits for the pits. Thomas Harvey 2 and Matthias Munoz. Seems like everybody is heading for the pits this lap. Moritz Krop's going to inherit the lead with Machete in behind him.
Yeah, those soft tyres are giving up the ghost. They would have had great performance for the for about 7 to 8 laps, and then it was probably almost time to give them up. Certainly it was the case for Stevens. Matthew Williams now, he takes an inside dive on Sooks and is through. Here's a look at the contenders for victory now. Tom Stevens, he wants Pushka drift to the side, and look at Mogyoród trying to fill the closing air there. It seems like there's going to be an agreement. Yeah, Pushka has to worry about his own strategy, and Mogyoród is clean through. But David Fiduk for the other Stax racing car, he's been overtaken by Danahan since. So let's see how much pressure is required to get Fiduk thinking about these drivers who want to go for victory. And Alex Lahu has lost his aerodynamics, unfortunately. He's in trouble.
He's turned into a Formula Ford here. Let's see what happens. I'm guessing he just loses the rear on exit and then hits the inside wall.
Oh.
Interesting one. Really not being... We talked about Red Archer not having a good season. Epic are not having a good season either. It's been a really tough start. Only 1 driver this evening as well. No Jeffrey Fournier with us, or Fabio Sixter again. So it's a bit of a shame. See Danahan, DRS wide open. Is he going to get double? No, thinks better of it. Just goes for the move.
Oh my goodness.
Chris Shepherd turning in a little bit there on Danahan, trying to scare us in the commentary box there.
Yeah, Giuseppe Lino has made even further gains here. He started in the low sort of 21st, 23rd kind of range. Now he's challenging the gross leader of the race. He has yet to gain it back with all these medium and hard tyre runners. Let's check out the onboard replay of Danahan going on the attack against the Red Archer, and that was tyre to tyre, but thankfully was an absorbable blow. Then the ability to go on the inside into turn 2 against Lino. That was was less uncomfortable to watch. But yeah, there we go, Denahan through. Let's check out Mogogród's point of view now that he is P10. He catches up to the Red Archer similarly. And that's actually a rare enough pass into P12. So yeah, I'm glad we've seen one of them today. That's nice.
Well, corner that. But you need such a good run out of the previous corner to make it work. See, Machete hits the pits. Stevens making a move on Giuseppe Lino. Scarra ADG car gets that done. Granquist on the inside of which one is that? It's Pushka. Oh, we see, is that Chris?
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, Chris has taken a spin outside of turn one. Was that an error on his half, or was the contact? We'll have to see a replay at some point, hopefully. But not great for Chris at turn one. You know, last time around he had contact. This time round, he's ended up backwards on exit. Let's see the replay here. Oh, it looks like he's on his own. I'm guessing he just lights it up at the rear and he touches the curb. And
oh yeah.
that was such a strange one. Very lucky to not lose his front wing as well there. Obviously his tyres will be done in, but at least he held on to his front wing, which is important. It hasn't completely written off his race. Just gets too excited, didn't he? Too excited with the loud pedal and goes round. A little bit of a weird twitch, but yeah, not great for him. Settles back into P19.
Yeah, he did well. He wasn't a full lock on the brakes. He was able to ease off just in time, and that guided the car into a more acute angle, so it did save his wing. He would have been suffering badly if he went in with greater speed than that. Denahan almost has a podium spot back. He can see the race leader, Williams, but Sooks and Schluter are in his way. Stefan Muralt also getting down to business for Edge. So they've both cars back in the top 10. Chris Shepherd, his recovery from that solo incident looks to be going according to plan now, so those tyres probably back to life. That's Giucapella Lalu giving him competition into turn 2. This is Alex Lahou's unfortunate incident where his front and rear wing both vanished. So let's check out what happened. Oh, that is unusual. So, I'm not sure exactly what happened. He might be just getting out of the way or something.
Yeah,
he's not down now.
He's through. Obviously got blue flags there. He's already a lap down, I think. So
yeah,
doing the best thing, I think, and he decided to DNF as well from the race. Understandable. Hasn't been a good evening for him again, but I'm not sure, but maybe he'll be back next time out. Prove a point, maybe get some points for the Epic Racing team. They definitely need it this season. I'm sure Lee would absolutely love that. As we see, is that Williams going? I thought he was going defensive. He was just trying to split the DRS. Good move from Denner. Brave on Schluter there.
Oh no, that's Williams. Williams has lost his time at the top. Another incident on corner exit. He's safe before he hit the wall, but that's his solo incident, losing the run of it. I think the front tires did not have the grip.
We'll have to get a replay of that one.
And that's Mogyoród.
Right. Oh, that would have been fantastic.
Now Thomas Vach, he knows he's got points on the table.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Oh, he's gonna go sideways, and there's the wing damaged beyond repair. Now you'll have to get that changed. So yeah, some the challenges the drivers face. They see the opportunity to go for positions at turn 4, and unfortunately that has bitten Vach badly. But here's Williams. He's already loose in the corner.
That looks like a hard lag. Yeah, something weird's gone on there. His steering's completely locked to the right. Can't get it back either. That's really strange. That's so unfortunate for him as well.
Yeah,
I bet that spooked whoever was in P2. I think it might have been Fidoc. I bet that absolutely spooked him, but it was so close. Mogyoród almost gets it done around the outside as well. This would have been the move of the race if he'd got it done. But just a little bit too much understeer, gets on that sausage curb and gets stuck. And let's see what happens here with Vach. A little bit of wheel banging.
Oh,
it's locked. He almost held onto it as well, but never mind, wasn't to be.
Thankfully that wasn't a more catastrophic accident. The mode car survived the hit with the rear left tire on the front right, so that could have been very, very grim viewing for two cars, but unfortunately it was Vok who took the full brunt of that one, and he has to try and repair the car, get back into the race now that he will be 22nd and last. So Geyer as well probably had to pit as well. So yeah, those two drivers have a long way back, but yeah, there's still points on the table for sure if further incidents occur. But at the moment, Eoin Mogyoród wants to get as close as he can to the podium. He just needs one more car who is on the longer stint to be dispatched. He's going to pick the inside line, so Sukes for Adonis has no fight back to that. So Mogyoród, our pole sitter for today, now back into third.
Yeah, not a bad move, and we've seen a bit of a return to the order as well. I'm just going to go into a couple of minute depression session over my driver losing their front wing. It's the worst feeling in the world, having to commentate over your own driver having an incident like that, but it's a part of the game, you know. It happens to everybody. We've seen it happen to a few guys already this evening. You just have to let me moan for the rest of the broadcast now, but still one of my drivers well and truly in the race. P16 Lepkowski was on a bit of a weird strategy as well, but yeah, let's focus up for the rest of this race. Who was that going off?
Sukes.
Sukes, yeah. Going a little bit wide out of turn 10, 11? 11, yeah. Obviously the tyres are probably taking a bit of a beating. Stayed out. Okay. Interesting to see what Granquist can do. He should be able to dispatch him into turn 1, I think.
Yeah, that's job done. And the top four drivers from qualifying are all back into shaken up order compared to qualifying. But yeah, they're all returned to where they believe they have the right to be, and they've earned it. So let's keep that going for those contenders. Matthias Moose here, Red Archer veteran, getting the position in the top 10. Shurik versus Krop in the background there. So Krop has also made the move for P11 there. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Shurik. But yeah, that's fine. I think he can carry on. He's one of the longer hard tire users. So yeah, just needs to avoid too many understeery moments, especially with the pace of Lalu behind him now.
Yeah, Lalu's super duper quick. The Finn, flying Finn, the two of them, really quick duo, and Lalu's been a bit quieter compared to Granquist, but silently getting the job done and sitting P4, only 5 points behind his teammate in the championship. So really, you know, he's one of them guys just sits in silence and gets the job well and truly done. As we see, is that Fabian peeling into the pits this time round. Lalu going to go up another spot. In pursuit is Ruben Machete, the Nocturne driver, not quite as strong because Lalu has the DRS also into turn 1. Goes a little bit wide, pushes the front. Almost spins across the front of Machete. Do we think he's going to be able to hold it around the outside?
Oh, it's a bit too high, unfortunately. But at turn 3, I think that'll offer the position. Oh no, I think someone's got to back out here. Yeah, thank goodness for that.
It was going to happen. Somebody had to back out of that one, but good move by Machete there. Running a pretty good race in P11. Let's see a replay of this one. I really thought he had it done, but just went probably give a little bit too much room, I'd say. And you can see a little snap in the middle of the corner there, which sort of pushed him a little bit wide. Understandable. And then, yeah, Lalu thinks better of it and slots in behind.
I think just before the replay began, Reuven was undeterred by the sight of a loose opponent there. He just kept the foot on the floor, didn't adjust the steering. his concentration was entirely on making his position up there, and it worked out. So fantastic work there, bravery on show. We have another car into the pit. So these hard tires are only lasting about 18 to 20 laps. So yeah, 3-stopper looks to be on here. Schluter wants to get a hold of the point here as Pescara's Lino wants to do everything he can to defend Pescara's honor here. They're having a brilliant first stint. They want to keep that going here in the second.
Quietly getting the job done. Obviously, podium finisher as well. Later this season. He was in Germany. I can't quite remember, but doing a really good job for Green Stripes. Green Stripes having a little bit of a turnaround this year. Definitely had a couple of rough seasons, but got a good little lineup going this year and scoring some really good points. Now all things kind of steady at the front. The gaps are definitely down from what they were pre pit stop 1. It was only under a second on that straight there between the top two. It's up to 1.1 now, but floating around that magic second mark. Just needs to stay in and see Fidok pitting. Sorry, going back to my previous point, just needs to stay in that DRS range if he wants to have any chance of fighting for the win. But Fidok on his weird strategy, I'm going to predict that he'd go for a 2-stop. Looking at this, 21 laps. No, he started on the hard, didn't he? That'd be tricky.
It's a stretch.
I'm not sure, but if there's someone who could do it, I think it would definitely be David.
Yeah, we'll see if he was able to perhaps put more life into the tires, and maybe now that the field spread is definitely in effect, you'll be able to conserve them a bit better, maybe go for it. But yeah, it does seem like the 3-stopper is the only viable strategy, as these tires are just fading away. We're not even really we're still not a third of the way through, to be honest. So yeah, that's Jan, that was a good catch. So yeah, we're not even a third of the way through the race, and the tires have to be changed across the grid. And here we go into turn 1. Mogyoród left defenseless there. That was an inside dive for Grankvist, and he'll park the car on the racing line there, and then the turn in was clean as you like. So a new occupant of the podium there, and Jan Grankvist.
Rapid, he is absolutely rapid, and I told you he knows how to make a strategy work, and he's already up to P3, and he's not far off the top 2 either, as we see a little scrap here for P14. Everybody settles into a little bit of a rhythm now. It's not really the sector to be making a move in now, so you just got to keep in the DRS range, not lose too much in the dirty air, and just look forward to getting back to sector 1.
Yeah, that's certainly true. Just double checking. Yeah, that looks like a medium stripe tire on Giuseppe's car. So yeah, Pescara have a very different strategy compared to everyone else. So yeah, I'm very fascinated to see how that pays off. Both drivers actually running the medium tires. So yeah, Pescara have gone completely against the grain. They feel something has been ignored by the other teams, as we see Mogyoród pitting for the second time now.
Yeah, going early, really early. He and Stevens have switched positions this time round. Eoin being the chaser needs to make something happen, and his chance now needs a solid outlap. See Stepkowski, is he going to get the move done on the inside into turn 2? Nope, doesn't look like it. Thinks better of it. It was a little bit close there as well, a little bit of tyre banging. We see the rear end sliding left and right there for Stepkowski, but holds onto it. And again, just stick him behind and wait for sector 1.
Yeah, just have to stay patient for 2/3 of the lap anyway. Yeah, in fairness now, we're really seeing the best of Red Archer now. They've got Moose into P7. and this should be reasonably on merit. Of course, Mogyoród has pitted and he's emerged in 13th. So yeah, this is a fine run here so far for Moose. Let's see how much further he can go. He's giving Thomas Harvey a good pursuit now. Yeah, Marit's Krop in P8, Ruven Machete 9th, and then just in the background there was Jukka-Pekka Lalu.
Yeah, they've having a good run. He definitely needs this to boost. He's a confidence driver, is Matthias, and if he can get a really solid top 10 like he's currently holding out now, that'll do absolute wonders for him for the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely, and the team certainly fully in support of him. And yeah, let's just see how he gets on as the race progresses. And yeah, we're just about a third of the way through now. So yeah, 25, 50, 75. So yeah, we're about a third of the way, no, over a third of the way through now. So yeah, it's just on the cutoff of 33%. Now we're above it. So yeah, Mogyoród, first opponent, now that his second stint is underway, is Daniel Stepkowski.
You should make pretty light work of him. The tyre strategy is obviously going heavily towards Mogyoród. You might get to see another little move into turn 12 here if he's close enough. If we just cut away from it, we might be able to catch it in the background. Starting to see a bit of a train forming. Who's that? Tom Stevens in the pit reacting to Mogyoród. It's just like deja vu but backwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
See if this is a good stop for Stevens. Looked okay. And let's see where he comes out. Is Mogyoród going to get the jump?
It's just missed out, but it could be DRS though. If Eoin has DRS, this could be a chance, a final throw of the dice. But no, the flap's not open. He didn't have DRS because Masculi was too far ahead. And then when Stevens slotted in, there was no activation. So yeah, there we go. Job done for Tom Stevens defending his position in the pits. This explain why.
Maybe he gets a little bit stuck.
Yeah.
Kowski, yeah, he lets him go though, but maybe too little, too late. It's difficult in this stage of the race trying to get. If you're going to go for the undercut, you really need to have some clear track, so that you can have as fast as possible out. But it didn't quite go in his favour that time round, as one of the THR cars is off in the background. I think that was Morris Crop. Yeah, running wide. We've seen a few people running wide out of turn 11 this evening. Seems to be a favourite for everybody. But everyone just a little bit of a DRS train forming here, and then there's another 3 cars not even that far back. So a bit closer this time though between Mogyoród and Stevens. Both going to have DRS over Masculi. Let's see. Looks like Stevens is going to get the move done. Is Mogyoród going to follow? No, thinks better of it, but might be able to get something done into turn 2 with a bit of DRS again.
Yeah, I think Euros's medium tyres are going to start wearing down. He completed 13 laps on his first stint, and if he doesn't pit this lap by, then he'll be going 14 laps. So yeah, those medium tyres are going to give up very soon. So yeah, smart move from Mogyoród there, getting the move completed there, and getting a great launch heading into turn 4 and beyond. Now stuck in the middle of this DRS train. As you say, Ryan, there's the interval table there on the bottom right, just to confirm it. Thomas Harvey at the top, Jukka-Pekka Lalu at the bottom, and Marit's Krop right in between there in P7. So he just has to stay in the zone here, match the sector times of everyone ahead of him and behind him, and he's doing just that.
Sorry to sound a little bit unprofessional for a second, but have we had this interval table for the entire season? I feel like I've never seen this overlay before.
I'm 100% sure it's been there before, but
really? I've clearly never noticed.
Maybe there aren't enough DRS trains to use. I'm almost 99.99% sure you've had it a good while now.
Well, I am clueless. Clueless commentator, shock. Look at this, Stevens getting a good run. Both got the DRS. Whoa! Wow, really forced the issue there. Does he get it done? Yes, he does as well. I did not expect that. if it was any other driver than Lalu, I think there would have been an incident there, if I'm going to be honest. Let's see a replay. Hopefully this is on board. Yes, it is. They've both got the DRS and just... Oh, wow. That was brave stuff. He really, really wants a win. He is not holding back at all, is Tom Stevens.
Yeah, I know obviously the onboard from Stevens could mislead Lalu's perspective a little bit, but his decision was to defend the inside line. He was making the journey towards the inside, but he didn't do it immediately, so therefore there was the gap, and just in time it was filled. But now it is unraveling a little bit for Lalu. He has to give up the top 10 as Mogyoród breezes past on his newer tyres. Yeah, and here come the THR teammates. This should be a dawdle, no question about it here. Maritz will be alerted, and straight away that's the swap completed.
And the Stefan Ross hit the pit this time round. Eros Masculi's hit the pit as well. Ross going to slot into, looks like P14 with a few seconds in front of him as well, which is exactly what he needs. Try and jump a few people and this pit stop. But he has got David Fidok. Let's see with him. See Mogyoród struggling to get past Machete here. Can he get underneath him into the chicane? Nope. Goes to the outside, but you don't want to make a move into here. Eoin thinks better of it. You'd struggle to get a move pulled off into there. Go through the fast left, right here as we head down. Oh! And we've lost Philip Bushka as well. We seem to think that it might have been a disconnection over an incident. You didn't see any yellow flags come out anywhere, but our leader hits the pits, gives the provisional lead to Jan Granqvist.
He's gonna stick it out on the hard tyres as his nearest threats are on the start finish right now. And Mogyoród, yeah, he's really being given a hard time by Machete. Denhan has Denhan's clear now, so Denhan 5th. Yeah, that's P7 for Mogyoród. Thomas Harvey. Oh, this is crucial now because he has been he has the chance really to give Jake some pressure, and Mogyoród will badly need that for his own perspective. Yeah, Thomas Harvey in play now.
Stevens has jumped Denhan.
Yes,
Stevens
right. Sorry, you're right. Yes.
So that is, well, in one way it's really worked, but oh god, that looked like another failure for Philip. We've already had one wheel failure tonight with Matthew. Yeah. Wow, yeah, that was looked like his game might have tapped out or something, or a screen freeze. Yeah. Sorry, going back to my previous point. Stevens got the jump, but he's on the older tyres by about 3-4 laps maybe. So Denhan's probably going to come on strong and isn't that far behind either. You see, who was that? Lalu peeling into the pits there?
Correct, yeah.
Yes, yeah, going in. We'll see where he comes out. Hopefully he gets himself some clean air.
So we saw Crop. Yeah, he was swapped around with his teammate. Unfortunately, he didn't have any answers for Mogyoród there. Mogyoród easily through. So Crop's probably just worried about his own strategy at this stage. And let's see, yeah, there probably was a bit of a chance for Crop to fight back and distract Mogyoród. Oh, that certainly doesn't help matters. That's an opportunistic opportunity there for Machete, I think that was. Or yeah, that was a big moment in the race there for Mogyoród, and thankfully he's still going.
Yeah, could have been messy, thankfully. Nobody comes off too badly from it, as we see Panzer's pitted, but I think our overlay's a little bit bugged. Don't think he's been in the pits for a minute. We've got 40 laps remaining of this race. It feels like it's going quite slow. It almost feels like it could be the end of the race. We've had so much action and we're only on lap 31. You'll see Denhan, he's going to get the move done on Stevens. got the superior tyre. Jumps in the lead as well as we've had Granquist being in the pits, I believe. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
We see Harvey's in the pits, Crop's in the pits, Machete's in the pits, and quite a few of our top 10 pitting this lap.
And Harvey will get away cleanly. Yeah, he's going to beat Crop and he's going to beat Machete. But can he beat Masciuli, who has changed onto the hard tyres for the first time? Probably 3 laps ago at this stage. Didn't quite spot it myself, but yeah, Pescara's strategy definitely going to plan with Masciuli. His teammate, yeah, he's 19th now, so yeah, one driver is carrying some points there for Pescara, but maybe Lino will get into the race again later on.
Just trying to see if we've had any interesting moves up and down the order. It's all looking fairly standard. We've got a few people out of position in the top 10. Obviously Fidok and Schleuter on alternate strategies. Other than that, looking all pretty good, with Denahan setting another fastest lap of the race, 1:18.9, which is currently quite a bit slower than what we had last season. But obviously we were only halfway through the race. We need all the fuel to burn off, but last year's fastest lap of the Grand Prix was 1:16.709. Let's see if somebody can get near that when we possibly put softs on with low fuel at the end.
Yeah, we could creep into 4-stop strategy. I don't think anyone will realistically be able to go 3 stops with a soft, included they're going 10 laps. I suppose maybe if they were scrubbed, that was their capacity, possibly 12, 13 laps if they're fresh. Shepard, though, his interest in the race matters on catching Stepkowski and Machete as well. So yeah, 2 different opportunities to come if he can keep this pace up. His split there in the first sector, it was a bit down unfortunately on Stepkowski, so yeah, he needs to put that behind him and carry on. Let's see how he gets on.
Yeah, so Kowski's on the fresher rubber as well, and they're not really in the same battle either. So Kowski's sort of at that back end of the top 10, early teens, whereas Shepard obviously had that mistake, had that spin earlier on in the race. What's happening here? Stefan Rualt silently plucking away, and same with the Adonis cars. Just not, we haven't seen too much action from them, but really doing a good job of just plucking people off through good strategy choices.
Yeah, their strategy is certainly making them solid enough in the race. Thomas Harvey, yeah, another case of a move that was no questions asked. It was superbly done, and there was no way back really there. Yeah, we'll see if Harvey can threaten any more drivers as he pursues a top 10 finish. Shirik, yeah, he couldn't do a thing about it. So yeah, turn 1. It's just so inviting as a corner nowadays, and if there's a driver struggling for pace, they're gonna have to give it up and just get the rhythm back later on.
Yeah, all about rhythm at a track like this. That is for sure a lot of commitment corners. You don't want to, and they're all back to back as well. It feels like around here. It feels like you're out of one corner into another, so you've got to keep a good rhythm up. Definitely looking as well, HRT as a team on for 2 really decent points finishes, which are well needed for them in the championship. Currently outside of the top 7 teams, which is quite unfamiliar for these guys. You usually expect a little bit more from them. You see now Masciuli pulling to the inside. Oh, that's Fabian Sisrick. Does he get it done? Get the power down? Yes. And is it going to be a double overtake? Is that Crop going to follow him through? Yes, he does. Not a great first sector for Fabian so far. He might even get pounced on by Lalu as well. Lalu on a lot fresher tyres. Is Mr. Nice gonna? No, I was gonna say it would be very uncharacteristic for him to try the outside of turn 4. don't see anything like that from Lalu. But Lalu now feeling the pressure as well from Machete.
Yeah, I think Shirk is on a different strategy to most of these guys. He's got 15 lap old tires. Lalu coming up next, he's got tires that are 4 laps old. So yeah, that seems like patience will pay off very soon for Lalu. But here's Sooks. He's P6 at the moment. Similar enough, yeah, he's going long for Adonis before he'll have to eventually pit. And Rualt, yeah, he really wants to get the attention of his opponent and find a way past. So yeah, this is excellent driving here for Sooks, getting in the air behind Schluter. So yeah, this is wonderful for those guys, getting the stints built up over time. But Styrek, yeah, he's sinking without a trace nearly. But in fairness, here's a chance for Machete. He wants to get past Lalu, but Lalu's not going to give him any more room than necessary. So yeah, that's Lalu through, and Styrek now out of the points.
Yeah, bit of a shame, but Lalu doing a good job to hold on there. See, it seems we haven't got much strategy happening right now, but we've got quite a lot of on-track action, and I'm just trying to work out who's where with what strategy. It's quite hard to hold on to when you've got so many drivers and so many alternate strategies and different tyre compounds, especially when your race view doesn't want to work. Really having trouble with that, so I'm not particularly sure what a lot of these guys are on tyres wise. I'm trying to keep an eye on the sides of the tyre, but it's quite hard when they're going at hundreds of kilometers an hour in game. This is a much better way for me to see. I can quite clearly see the rods on the hard tyres here. And he goes for the outside and gets the slide on. Whoa! He did a really good job of hold on to that, and I thought Zolt was going to go into the back of Schleiter there almost for a second. That's even better. Everyone's on hards.
Yeah, the mediums are gone. Pescara were the last to use them. I suppose Pushka, before his disconnect, he was classified as on medium tires. Yeah, he's not going to recover that, unfortunately, his incident. So yeah, everyone's on hards. It's going to be a case of either go to the end after another stint of about 18 laps or thereabouts, or else probably split them into 4 stop if the opportunity calls. But I do believe the endurance here of Schluter and Sooks, 18 and 17 laps respectively on this stint. Yeah, that's gonna, in fairness to Sooks, he calls it. So I think if Schluter goes beyond 20 laps, I think a lot of other teams will pay attention and see what happens, because this last stint, if you're going to make it count, you will need to keep the tires fresh for as long as you can.
Yeah, we're going to see people extending a bit more than we did in stint 1 as well. Obviously constantly burning off fuel load, so it will be a little bit easier on the tyres as we get further and further into the Grand Prix. People are going to have to start extending laps now, depending on what strategy they fancy for the rest of the evening. Let's see. Come out in a bit of an awkward spot here. He's got a little bit of space to play with, but not an awful lot before he's on the back of Shepherd and Giuseppe Lino as well. So, not ideal. He's got 48 seconds behind him as well. Maybe if he'd stayed an extra lap, if he could have, it might have actually put him in a better position to get a solid out lap. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. Maybe his engineer didn't spot that one. Obviously, Rualt running a little bit wide. Of 11 yellow in sector 3. Wonder what that's for. Florian Geyer is round. He's done a Verstappen. He didn't quite pull it off as successfully. As we see, is that Schleiter into the pits?
Yes,
it is, as well as Eoin Mogyoród. Hit the pits again?
Mogyoród's been really aggressive on his tires. It's another 14 lap stint for him. So 8 laps on his original softs, then 14 and 14 on hards, and now this is probably going to be another 14. So he's aiming for a 4 stop at this stage, Ryan.
Ooh. It's not that I didn't see that one coming, but I didn't think it was the preferred strategy. I'm going to be honest, but he's going to have to do something different, isn't he? To have a chance of, you know, he hasn't got anything to particularly risk. He's not a championship driver. He's just doing a standing round, so why not take a bold little risk and do something a little bit different, put fear into the mind of your opponents.
Yeah, let's review the footage of Geyer's spin at the second to last corner for the Mode Auto Concepts team. Yeah, that was definitely a Verstappen, but he went the other way in the spin. It wasn't a pirouette. In the literal sense of the word, he kind of went the other way with the snap, and the wall guided him backwards. But yeah, that's Florian just needs to carry on and hope for further DNFs up the grid. He's not to lose. 2 laps down, I believe. So yeah, just I'm sure the Mode team will just encourage him on. Just keep going, make this a test session, and if anything happens ahead of us, then that's great.
Held on to his front wing as well, which is important. And if he wanted to, he could have went into the pits anyway. To be honest, he was obviously right there, so haven't lost too much. Just like to go in. Shepherd, maybe Lino's giving Zolta a bit of a hard time. So does he have a little dive into turn 2? Thinks about it, but thinks better of it. He's going to save that. Wonder where 4. Do you reckon he's now stuck behind him for the rest of the lap, or do you think we'll see him move in the middle of the sector?
No, yeah, based on how he went into turn 4 there, I think he's going to be stuck behind unless Lino makes a mistake. It was just too aggressive, and he cost himself a few tenths there. He would have been gaining on him in the first sector, but now in the second, he's going to miss out. And Magoggy's lighting up the timing screens here now. Unfortunately, I think that fast lap is going to be denied based on David Feidock minding his own business. He wants to get stacks further up the classifications the best he can. But, Magoggy's going to cross the line. Oh, he does manage the fastest lap, so yeah, that little distraction at the end was not a consequence. And Mogyoród gets fastest lap and P7. So yeah, this is a big call now for Mogyoród. He's going to push those tyres as hard as he can once again.
Yeah, he's done a...
And Sux is through.
Yeah, he's on a flat-out race, isn't he? He's just push on every set of tyres that he's had so far. So I'm really interested to see how that one plays out. He's not just gone a little bit different, he's gone very, very different, and it might have worked. See, Chris Shepard's got a penalty, possibly being in the pit lane or something. At first you thought, because he was only going, you know, a lap here and there earlier, you thought it was quite normal, just going for an undercut, but consistently pitting early is definitely a sign of an extra stop. Now let's see, Shepard speeding in the pit lane here, I believe. Just doesn't look like he gets it slow enough, but can't quite see because of his head what speed he was doing into the pits there. But we promised that he was speeding because he got a penalty.
Yeah, that will definitely be verified by race control. They have the data and they make absolutely sure the penalty is correctly applied. So yeah, we don't have the definite proof on camera, but yeah, we can believe that the telemetry will say he sped before he crossed the line. So yeah, that'll be disappointing for Red Archer, but yeah, their hopes are pinned on Moose, I think. See how he gets on. Currently P7. Jan Grankvist, this is a genuine battle now with Tom Stevens, but Grankvist has tyre advantage by 6 laps, so it could be time for Tom to think about a pit stop next lap. But yeah, if it's Grankvist, if he doesn't feel the need to wait, he's going to make the attack now, Ryan. And let's see how he gets on. Going to hit 300 kilometers per hour in 7th gear, and that's a move lined up, and it should be done now. Brilliant play, Grankvist using those extra healthy tyres to his advantage, and it's P2.
It's P2, and that at this rate looks like all they're going to be able to battle for. 4-second lead that Denahan has. Somebody's gone off in sector 3.
Oh no!
Giuseppe Lino and lost his front wing as well. That's going to definitely be into the pits for Giuseppe. Not... Yeah, could have hit a curb possibly. Or maybe even on the outside, sorry, he might have lit it up when he was going over the rumble strip. Yeah, it's a tricky track. A lot of deg on the rear tyres to deal with. Let's see what happens. Looks okay through here. And yeah, just on the outside. And takes the front wing into the barrier.
Yeah, what will be worrying now for Pescara is his stint on these hards. It's about 14 laps compared to the 13 and 13 stints he did on medium, so he would have wanted to carry on a bit further into the stint. That's been totally discarded now with the damage, so he'll have to probably pit twice more to get to the end. But Stefan Rualt has got brand new rubber on his car, and that's an attack. It's almost paid off. Let's see how it carries on. Yeah, it is. He has got the place now, yeah. So, yeah, completed there. Good job. That was a replay. Sorry, yeah, I just shrunk my windows there by mistake. So, yeah, that was a completed pass by Stefan Rualt on his new tyre, so my apologies for that.
Not worried at all. Stevens appears to be struggling just a little bit now. Tyres not quite agreeing with him. Panzar's got ahead of him as well. So pretty tough, but strategy's worked out for Robin so far. But let's see if Stevens is going to have a little bit of tyre advantage. Who knows? Well, he definitely will, but depends if he's going to be able to get past Robin is the real question. And what this is going to look like for the two leaders. Is anybody going to react at the front of the field to these two? Doesn't look like it so far.
No, seemingly not. But yeah, Rualt, he'll be gathering strong data for his teammate. He's got session best sector 1 time, and he's green in sector 2. So yeah, this could be a challenge for the fastest lap. That was McGoggy, who I think got it most recently. So yeah, it has to be great news for Edge if they can prove the car is quick on reduced fuel. They're burning through the fuel on schedule, and then they'll be using hard tires again. And Lalu, the opportunity to pounce on Masculi. Could this be it for sure? It's another 50-50. Oh, but yeah, it seems like more composure on the Super Venturi made that pass absolutely certain. So Masculi will be thinking about a pit stop a bit later on. Yeah, he didn't have a chance after that wobble before turn 3.
Just looking at the top 2, that gap is coming down between Granquist and Denahan as well. Which is... Steve Slowguy off again.
Yeah, so he's really stranded now. His nearest rival, Vach, he's probably just been ordered by blue flags to move aside. Tom Stevens wants to make an opportunity count here, and yes, Robin Panzer on an alternate strategy, and he put his car on the outside line, stuck to it. It was easy for Tom to get the job done on the inside.
Tyre advantage was only a matter of time, really. Just depended how hard Panzer fought, but it doesn't look like he got too much of a fight. Rural ahead of Sepkowski, chasing down Masculi. Pace is looking good from Stefan. If only he had a little bit of a better qualifying, the race might have been a bit easier for him. Let's see what happens with Flo. Just goes straight on.
You very rarely see much trouble on the outside line at turn 8. Yeah, maybe the curb on the inside of that corner might be troublesome, but yeah, it just seems a unusual drop. Yeah, he was able to catch it, and he'll resume. Yeah, that's a very strange off. But now Eoin McGoggy here, who has Robin Panzer in his sights. Again, this should be similar enough to what we saw previously with Tom. Maybe he's a little bit too far back. He has to dive. Is Panzer able to see? No, he will not see. So there is contact, but now he'll know what's alongside him. And he's going to fight it. Oh, he's really going to fight it here now. This is wheel to wheel. And Robin Panzer not at all interested in McGoggy's antics. He is defending as hard as he dares now. So this is very, very infuriating for McGoggy. He wants to get by ASAP.
A little bit spicy into there, and not what McGoggy needed. Just a little bit of contact on the inside there's probably got in both of these guys' heads, and neither one of them wanted to give up. Just a little bit of contact on the entry, and I don't know how Panzer managed to clear the front of McGoggy's car there. I thought he was going to get turned, but really, really exciting stuff for us to watch here in the commentary box. I'm sure that these two guys are absolutely hating it in the driver's seat, but it provides good entertainment for ourselves and our viewers.
Yeah, and hopefully, I know certainly previously in Super League there were heat waves in Europe and beyond. It's cooled down a bit here in Ireland. I don't know about yourself across the water there, Ryan. Is it not as hot as it was previously? So yeah, it's certainly harder for the drivers if they're battling each other like that, regardless of the outside temperature.
Oh, freezing over here, freezing and wet. Everywhere else is getting the lovely weather across the world, and we're struggling over in this part of Europe. But we had another little yellow flag in, I think, Sector 3 there. Sounds like it was Flogeyer off again. Not sure what's happening there, to be honest, but it's not the night that he wanted. As Musculi goes off in turn 2, just loses it in the middle of the corner, and does well to hold on to it without losing too much. Hopefully get a replay.
Yeah, the rear end.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly on the onboard here, Ryan, and our viewers. So he's turning in appropriately, then the rear end just entirely abandons him, and he has to catch it and try again. So yeah, wouldn't have seen it on the TV camera, but it all makes sense now on the replay. Here's Geyer again. It's turn 11 this time. Is it that curb? It is, yeah. Oh.
Whoa, that was quite the spin. Or spins, I should say. Goes round and round and round. Touches the grass, sends him the opposite direction. Somebody needs to get him a paper bag, he'll be sick after that. But that curb on the outside again, taking another driver out. We've seen it take a few people's wings this evening, as we see who's this, Crop and Harvey.
Yeah,
yes,
Harvey.
Crop on the inside now, gets the move done. Really good.
Yeah, we're able to see the drivers put their skills to the test in turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4 more cooperative there. Unfortunately, Flo Geyer has been classed as DNF on our timing tower. So yeah, his final spin there was a spectacular one, but it's so long, and better luck next time for Geyer. But here's a battle now for the race lead. It is Grankvist versus Denahan.
Jan doing a fantastic job here, and it looks like he's going to have it done into turn 2 as well. Unbelievable on this strategy here. He's really making it work. He's reeled back in like 4 seconds there on Denahan. I'm not particularly sure what's going on. I think Grankvist does have... Well, they both went long on the last stint, I believe, so if there is a bit of a tyre gap, it can't be too big. You can see Crop hit the pits. I think we're going to start to see quite a few people hitting the pits fairly shortly if they're going to go for a 4-stop. Probably taking one more set of hards and then a set of softs to the end, but get a replay here. Quite brave into turn... No, we were getting a replay of Morris Crop, sorry. Thought we were getting it. Oh, it goes a little bit wide. And he's like, oh, and he goes round.
Oh no.
Hits the wall, that's why he's had to pit. Ah, man. What a shame.
Yeah, I think the barrier obscured the full picture there, but now it all makes sense. But yeah, it's crucial now. The pit stops for Granqvist and Dennehan won't be far away. One last chance to turn the race. And yes, speak of the devil, and it is Dennehan linking first. He has taken those tyres through 20 laps of punishment, and he's got one last stint to complete with 21 laps to go. Yeah, it seems like he has to go even longer if he wants to compete for this crucial victory in his championship contention.
Sorry, everyone can completely ignore what I said. For some reason, I thought we were on lap 40, not 50. There'll be one more stint to go. Not people doing 2 more stops. Sorry, the majority look like gonna go for the 3-stop. Matthias Musin as well, probably taking 1 set to the end, but we are probably expecting Mogyoród to go a stop extra and go soft towards the end, I'd imagine. But everyone else looking fairly standard on strategy, give or take a few laps here and there. But Granqvist doing a really good job. Stevens, of course, but did pit a lot earlier. So let's keep an eye on that. He might do an extra stop and pit for some soft tyres at the end. Who knows? Or he might be an absolute legend on these tyres. You see Granqvist react straight away to Dennehan. Had to be done. And then Dennehan already now on the pursuit of Stevens. Good 3 seconds behind. But looking good for Granqvist so far. That's last stint will have put some real big confidence into him. Let's see what he can do for the remaining 20 laps.
Yeah, and Tom Stevens will cross the line and he will assume the race lead. But here's the crucial battle now in the exit of pit lane. Dennehan has cleared Granqvist, so the undercut is super powerful here in the Hungaroring, but also the late strategy, if you can get those tyres lasting long and they're younger than your opponents, there is a way back into contention. Various drivers are also pitting. Pansar, Harvey, Lalu, Machete and Stepkovsky have all been requested for a tyre change, and yeah, we're all going to see them contesting. Yeah, and they should all be back on the hards and see if there's any change through the pit lane. It doesn't seem like too much has happened there. All completed the pit stops in good time.
What needs to happen here now is, I think there's a very good chance that Dennehan and Granqvist are going to catch Stevens, right?
Yeah.
If I'm Granqvist, I am praying to whatever god or whoever he would pray to, that Stevens is going to hold up Dennehan and Granqvist can pounce. That's exactly what needs to happen here. Already taking chunks out of Stevens, which is concerning for the THR driver, but let's see what happens. There's still, a good 18-19 laps to go, so plenty of time for anything to happen. It's Super League. Anything can happen. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, but our 2 predictions are doing very well so far, and it's kind of looks like it's between these 2 for who's gonna take the victory so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and that makes it even more exciting for us, as well as hopefully the viewers watching at home. Pansar, that was an easy pass on his teammate. That was no doubt an instruction for the benefit of the overall organisation. So yeah, Pansar on fresh tyres getting a job done on his teammate. But Granqvist, we can see him on Sector 1, he was very quick at 28.8, but Dennehan clawed that deficit back in Sector 2, but DRS is definitely going to give the Super Venturi more opportunities down the line. Tom Stevens staying just at 119 range, so that's probably his target, with Dennehan and Granqvist 119.0s. So these tyres are equally matched at the moment, but Tom will eventually get some graining.
Yeah, it's inevitable, but these guys are all on similar strategies here, so let's just keep an eye on it. And just see Cranquist trying to find any bit of clean air that Danahan isn't in, pretty much, where he can at least. The dirty air effect in these cars, especially at a track like this, it's awful, horrible to drive with. But thankfully, we are sat comfortably in our chairs talking about it instead of having to experience it. See Matthias Must now chasing down David Frelik. Frelik obviously probably got one more stop to do, but regardless, you know, he's jumped up several positions in what's going to be the actual order. From that P21, I believe he started. So I told you, you can make it work, and looks like you could even be on for points at this rate as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised if it does end up being a strong result there. And now we're going to see Lalu for even further in the lap. His task is to keep up and maybe overtake Harvey. But here's Eoin McGoggy now. He's been the aggressor on these tyres. He's not gone any further than 15 laps on a single stint. So this is on target to go a real balls to the wall stint here to complete his unusual strategy with assertiveness at the key of it. And this is important now. Yeah, he's going to be slotting in behind Robin Panzer, but he really doesn't need to lose any more time behind drivers. He really needs to get these moves done so he can make the opportunities count.
Yeah, he's going to be on these hards to the end, and well, it's probably the furthest he definitely is the furthest I think he will have gone on these tyres. But I'll tell you what, Stevens is doing a good job out front. They're really not catching as quick as I was expecting as we went yellow for a brief second in sector 3. Oh, that was a bit of a scary moment there for Fabian Sisrick behind. Yeah, we don't know what the yellow was. It could have been somebody running wide or anything. But I think if I was Granquist, I'd be tempted to pounce and really try and make a dent into Stevens' lead. It's like Denon just doesn't have that last little bit today.
Yeah, maybe there is a missing piece of the puzzle for him today. It's maybe not as comprehensive as he would have wanted. But yeah, as it appears that Eoin McGoggy, who had the pole at the beginning of our race, his ability really to stay in touch with the podium, it could be in a spot bother now. He's gonna overstep the mark, and my goodness, if the camber of the corner wasn't downhill left, that would have been an awful situation for McGoggy. But incredibly, Panzer and McGoggy both carry on as normal.
It feels like this has happened a few times at this corner, and people are coming away with it. Let's see. Yeah, just looks like Eoin just turned in a little bit too much and sort of pointed his car at the front right of Panzer. I'm not see what it looks like from Panzer's point of view. Obviously, you only see it from one side. A little bit different, but yeah, it doesn't look like there was a lot that Robin could have done there on the inside, but comes off ahead anyway, and hopefully doesn't have too much damage.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Panzer definitely took the whack, and then both cars had a slide. But yeah, it's take 2 coming up soon. So if no love is lost, Panzer is going to throw the car in an unusual place on the racing line. He's going to stick it on the outside for now. Maybe McGoggy will launch it before there's any chance of a reply. So yeah, Panzer, I think he had to just carry on the outside line. But if he wanted to be really aggressive, that would have been a possibility, but not to be. Schluter and Sooks are both in the pits and just coming out now. There's Schluter for green stripes ahead of Stepkowski.
Yeah, nice little stretch there. Just looking at that lead, it's come down about half a second, so Dan finally stepping up the pace a little bit. Scully here leading against Fabian, who's lying behind as well. It's the other Adonis car, so it shoots. Yeah, you can visibly see that gap coming down, 1.8 as we cross the line this time round. But Denahan he's having to look forward and backwards as we see Granquist trying the outside, and it looks like he might be just about loses it. Oh man, I thought he was really going to have it around the outside. There goes again. Yeah, not quite enough. But really, if I'm going to be honest, if I was Granquist and I knew I had a pace advantage over Jake, I would not be pressuring him right now. I'd be letting him run away with it and try and catch up to Stevens. We see Mogyoród go fastest lap and Rualt also in the pits for a final stop.
Yeah, so for Rualt, yeah, his objective, yeah, he's going to follow Mogyoród's lead and try and notch up some very strong lap times and come in for a late attack. So here's the battle. Granquist hitting Denahan tire for tire there, and then Denahan guided him to the outside line of turn 2. Yeah, that's a fierce battle, but absolutely fair. Both drivers are not giving an inch, but they're not causing foul play either. So yeah, that battle will not end as far as Granquist is concerned. And Stevens, he's going to try and go aggressive himself. Yeah, he's cut his stint short, and he wants to respond, as Denahan and Granquist will have to stay out to the very end now. This could be a great call now for THR.
Gonna go one way or the other, isn't it? I think he's got enough of a buffer where why not take the risk? I think he was guaranteed anyway to be past him, probably wouldn't have held on with them tyres anyway, so let's see what he can do. He's got 18 seconds to claw back. Gonna have to be, well, over a second a lap faster than the guys ahead of him. So we'll keep that. We'll just constantly be keeping an eye on that gap, see what happens. See Max Luter goes fastest lap of the race, 1:17.7, getting close at that last year's lap time. Still got to be a 1:16.7. Was last year's fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, so that's Stevens' target. He needs to get 1:17's time and time again to stand a chance. But yeah, Denahan, he's probably found a bit of pace now in this in the last lap. So now that they'll be equalised again, there we go. So yeah, Denahan gained a lot in the last lap, and there's one of the green straps out of the pits. That'll be Frelik. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Granquist, yeah, as I was probably going to say there, he was able to gain some time back now that they're spread apart again. So yeah, now we take 2 in that battle. See what happens. But yeah, it's the opportunity now for Tom Stevens. If he can get lap time, he's actually on mediums. So I need to double check that with you, Ryan. Is he on mediums? So this is a great gamble if he makes that work.
Hard to see, isn't it, with the yellow stripe on the tyres?
Yeah.
Hopefully the overlay will be able to tell us. I think even on the hard tyres, if I'm not mistaken, see Fridock hits the pits. No, he's been told he is on mediums, so...
Szymon confirms.
Yeah, we see 17 stick from Salt Shoots. So Fridock's going to come out in plenty position as well, which is really good for him.
That was a good driving from Lalu as well on Thomas Harvey, getting the move done in the common turn 2, turn 3 area. So great driving there for the Super Venturi. Let's see how much further he can go, but yeah, those tires are probably in mid-range now. So yeah, here's Tom. This is what we want to see from him now. It's the purple sector 2, getting highly aggressive there. Let's see if this could topple the fastest lap. 1:17.2, that's ideal. So he's down to about 15 seconds behind.
If he keeps this pace up, he'll do it.
Yeah, the chat,
I think he might.
Yeah, the chat are convinced this is a possibility. So let's see how that goes, and that will break our prediction game here, Ryan. But less THR, they know how good they are this season, and they want to keep that going with an audacious strategy call.
Yeah, I love this. This just feels like Barcelona, where Hamilton went on the alternate strategy versus Verstappen, and seemed crazy, but managed to pull it off. Let's see if THR have got the same sort of insight as the Mercedes team did that day.
Yeah, we'll discover the answer in the next 15 minutes or so. Now that we see Granqvist, he didn't make a huge cut in time of the lead against Dennehan. But yeah, Tom Stevens will force these two drivers to hurry up when they might want to necessarily. So yeah, that's going to continue to unfold. Top 10 results so far in the pocket for Machete, but that could be under pressure because that is Schluter in the background, and he's going to be pushing hard on medium tyres. He's logged some good lap times himself. But yeah, the DRS train could dent his progress a little bit. But if anything, that's the defense from Harvey taking the inside line on Machete. And there comes the green stripes as well.
Defense on. We see tight there with Schleiter. How much back? 16.7. Doesn't quite tip last year's time, but fastest lap of the race. He's on the soft tyres as well, by the way. So kind of to be expected, but down in P18. See now Granqvist with the DRS open. They're getting actually, I'm not sure if I'd say, yeah, I will say caught by the green stripes car that's a lap down as well. So let's hope that that doesn't play too much of a factor in this lead battle. See Stevens, the time is still coming down, but possibly not fast enough. Obviously the tyres are only going to get worse as well on their mediums, so you really, especially these first laps are going to be the crucial ones to whether this is going to work for him or not.
Right, Jar. We'll just have to see how that carries on. It's still too early to definitely say Stevens will catch up at the end, but the gap is shrinking piece by piece, but he needs to get under 10 seconds very soon, or else, yeah, that may fizzle out. Here we go, side by side. It's Sukes versus Stepkovsky, and unfortunately for Sukes, he's going to be forced to take the high line. But on the fresher tires, he does counter-attack to perfection and gains an extra point for himself.
Stepkovsky thought about it as well, but didn't quite go for it. Granqvist still sitting in behind. I see a lot of support for Granqvist in the chat, but he hasn't quite been able to make the move happen just yet. But equally, if in his head he might be thinking, why would I make the move and cost both of them more time to Stevens? Because that's essentially what will happen, is if they battle and lose an extra second, you know, that's going to make a huge impact into how Stevens is going to be able to catch them. So you might be just thinking about the long, what's the word I'm looking for? Thinking about the long game here, as with 8 laps to go. So I say long game, that is only 8 laps.
Well, the top 3 teams in the constructors all in line for yet another podium, 1 each as things stand. And in fairness to Super Venturi, they're looking for a 5th podium in a row for one of their drivers, with Granqvist getting 3 of them, and Lalu in the last round in Britain got 1. So yeah, this is another opportunity for Super Venturi to perhaps get that first W of the season. It's still elusive so far, as THR and Edge have dominated with Nocturne splitting them up in Melbourne. That was literally it. Been Adam Maguire, the Melbourne master, who made that case. So yeah, this is pressure time now. Granqvist cannot lose DRS. That is one thing for sure. He needs to stay below 1 second of Jake to stay competitive in the race. But yeah, Tom Stevens, he's just about below 10 seconds now, so that's his objective, and he's going to gain more and more time as those tires begin to creak. Here's the other Edge car though on the outside line. He's going to attack Moose. Moose, Yeah, he does not relent so far. Oh, Rualt had no. Yeah, he does make it work in the end, but yeah, Rualt had no mercy there. He wanted that small opportunity on the inside, and Moose eventually had to relent. And yeah, that is a pass for Rualt. So Edge gain another place for their Belgian driver.
A bit sketchy. The overspeed was huge into turn 1, but just couldn't quite get it stopped. Looked like he locked the rear a little bit. See it here? Yeah. Woof. Did a really good job to hold on to that, to be honest, and was putting the squeeze on him. Just a little bit late on that squeeze. He probably would have been able to cover it off if he'd done it a bit earlier. He was clear, it looked like. But Rualt managed just to get that position, and P6, good effort from him.
Yeah, perhaps the blind spot in his mirror maybe misled him. He just need that extra instruction just to stick as hard to the inside as he could, but yeah, it just wasn't on. Rualt is quicker, and he has P6. You're seeing Machete once more. Nocturne will be pleased with this result if they can hang on to it, or else Harvey could be dispatched, and it'll be a P9. HRT, obviously with 2 substitute drivers today. If you're just joining us for the conclusion of this Hungarian Grand Prix, HRT having to choose replacement drivers for both their cars, and Mugogi was the pole sitter, but it has not paid off in terms of his race pace, going super aggressive, but it's going to be P4 for him after being the fastest driver in that 15-minute qualifying session.
Just looking now, Granquist's not as close. I'm just obsessed with this lead 2 battle. It's great. I just love having an actual fight for the lead. Unlike Formula 1 these days, there's actually something going on at the front. You know, everybody's more interested in the battle for the lead, aren't they, than what's going on in the mid-pack. There's no Formula 1.5 here. This is all just quality racing all the way through, right to the top, and it just doesn't look close enough at the moment. There was one point where Granquist even got to about 9/10 behind. Not as confident as he probably was last stint, but he can still make it happen really good on his tyres as Granquist, so these last couple of laps it could all just flick like a switch.
Oh yeah, of course, but in this case another medium versus hard battle is unfolding before us, and Machete has made an attack into turn 3, but yeah, he has to back out into turn 4. So yeah, sorry, that's Schluter. He's trying to make the pass, so Machete defends successfully. Yeah, Schluter still has time on those mediums before it's too late. Yeah, Granquist has not had a chance to go side by side with Denahan for the majority of this final stint, Ryan. So yeah, let's see if there is any way by in the deep portions of the race.
Yeah, really. Only 4 laps to go now, very deep into the race. Feels like only 5 seconds ago I was saying, how are we only on lap 20? It's absolutely flown by this Grand Prix, and it's been a great one. Hungary has definitely provided for us, and we've definitely got more overtakes than I had in the real world this time round, so that's a +1 as well. Let's see what Machete can do into turn 1. DRS open, doesn't go for a move, slots him behind. Thinks better of it on Harvey, for now at least.
Yeah, he doesn't want to dive bomb. To be honest, yeah, it is it's probably a chance to reel him in under pressure and then get him on the second to last lap, or the very last lap. Now we're going to check out and on board with Granquist, and here we go. He's closing in, but it's too far away, so he needs the DRS boost again as Tom Stevens and his pursuit carries on. It's probably wearing down a little bit. He's not gained enough time that last lap.
Yeah, he just hit a bit of a peak. And even if Granquist and Denahan fight, as long as it's a clean fight, I just don't see 7 seconds being lost. As stand now, let's see what happens with Crop. Just over rotates it in the middle of the corner. Very strange one, but holds onto his wings and looks like he stays in the race, I think. Unless he decides to DNF, but can't quite see that. But yeah,
still going.
Yes, he is just in P17, so outside of the points paying positions, unfortunately, but we might as well go to the end now. You never know what could happen.
Precisely. There is plenty of chances, even for the likes of Tomasz Vach, who's taken soft tires as a pure no stress, no lose situation. He's already quite way back, and here's the opportunity looking from behind Denan. You can see the graining on his tires. These rubber tires are now going to be hitting the very end of their life, but with the penultimate lap now underway, this is the final opportunity for Grankvist to make his undercut, or the overcut count, as he's got younger tires on. Very, very last chance now with 2 to go.
Go yellow in sector 1. Wonder who that is for. Crop again. Goes around again. Not great for THR there, but at least one of the drivers is going to head towards the podium. Let's see what happens. Does he over-rotate in the middle of the corner again, like he did last time round? Yeah, looks very, very similar incident. Just loops it. Probably tyres a little bit too hot, maybe. And just goes round. But let's have a look back at the lead battle. You never know, Grankvist could have loads of push to pass the door up as well. He definitely looks closer this time than he has done the past few times round. Let's get a good exit, get our DRS wide open and see what's going to happen into turn 1. He's closer by about a 10th, but not close enough.
Not close enough, no. He goes deep. Wants to show Denahan he wants to give him an offensive move, even from that far back. No chance of contact. So yeah, Denahan survives the common area for an overtake. He just needs to negotiate these remaining corners, and he will be victorious yet again. And Jan Grankvist giving him a real contest today. Let's see what else could happen. Ruwalds could perhaps get edge a double top 5 result at Robin Pansar's expense. We know how determined Robin is to hang on to this position. So the split 2 times. Let's see what happens with Jake. Yes, Jan is trying everything he's got to unsettle the Irishman, but here we go. 3 corners to go now. 2. Oh, he's really, really going for it, and you have to salute him for his never say die attitude. But around the final corner comes Jake Denahan. Is he through? You bet he is. He'll take the checkered flag, and the championship leader has celebrated another race victory. It's 2 in a row, and unfortunately for Grankvist, he had no answer to the dominance here of the Edge driver.
And he extends that lead to Tom Stevens just about as well, but the race isn't over yet for everybody, as Ruwalt is chasing down Robin Panzar here. Doesn't look like it's going to happen though, unless there's a mistake from Panzar on the exit of the final corner. Let's see. We saw Jan Grankvist sliding left, right and centre, but doesn't happen for Panzar here, and goes Robin Panzar P5, Stefan Ruwalt P6. Yeah,
Ruwalt made some crucial gains on track. He was aggressive on those hard tyres, similar to Magoggy, so that paid off, with Panzar going longer on his stints. Let's check out David Fylock. This will be an honourable result here for Stacks. Yet more points in the column. Stepkowski is ahead of him though, so that's 13 and 14. Those positions are sorted. Masciuli should be 15th as well. He would have been 8 seconds behind, and he gets 15th. So there we go. We have 18 classified finishers. A very arduous test in the heat of Hungary.
Well, thank you.
Respect there.
Yeah, these 2 guys had a great race together. Didn't quite work out for Mogyoród, dropping a few places, but I'm sure he won't be too disappointed with the P4.
No, we certainly won't. So let's run down the final classified order. It won't be confirmed just yet. There may be some penalties to hand out, but it is Jake Dennehan with the victory ahead of Jan Granqvist, who gave him everything he could possibly offer, every drip of sweat, but it wasn't enough. Tom Stevens with the late gamble on mediums will take P3. Eoin Mogyoród fourth, Robin Pansar, Stefan Rualt, Matthias Moos, Jukka-Pekka Lalu, Thomas Harvey, and Ruben Machete are the top 10 drivers. The final points paying positions are going to Mark Schluter, Zolt Schuks, Daniel Stepkowski, David Fidok, and Eros Masculi, with some celebratory spins there in the background. Hard luck to the lap drivers, Stilik, Krop, and Vok. They are still classified after completing 69 laps, though. I'm sure the chat will respond to that. Lino and Geyer, DNF in the positions 2021st. Now we should have Chris Shepard in 19th, the missing number there. Chris Shepard, 12 laps down, but he was in the box, I believe. So yeah, he's just sitting there in his pit box, doing nothing. But he's P19, 12 laps down. So that clears that up. Thank you, Szymon. The remaining drivers who entered the race but did not see the end: Philip Pushka, Matthew Williams, Alex Lehu, and Mike Quint. So there we go, Brian. What do you think of that?
I think it was good. There was a good bit of excitement. I do wish that Stevens would have got a little bit closer at the end, but overall, really good for Hungary. As I mentioned at the start, not the best track typically for overtaking, but it certainly delivered today. But next up, one of the biggest races on the calendar. Got to Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. I know that this is a personal favourite among many of the people on the grid. Not one of my favourites, controversially, but it's a really fast, long, flowy track, and in a Superleague car, it is just unbelievable. The downforce sections are really good in that middle sector, so really looking forward to that one on the 10th of August. We've got a couple of weeks before that one, and then we head into another little break between Spa and when we hit Monza. But I think next up we should bring in Jan Granqvist for an interview.
Yeah, let's get the interview started. And runner-up Jan Granqvist is first in line for a chat. So here we are now. Jan Granqvist, should I say congratulations or commiserations? How do you feel that went today?
Yeah, as disappointed as you can be with a P2, to be honest. I mean, I really wanted to win, but damn, it was hard fought, and yeah, came out second.
It was a case of blow by blow. You had a very similar pit strategy to Jake. Perhaps is there anything that you left on the table, or was that your peak performance and it was just a better driver beat you?
Yeah, to be honest, it was all down to how well you could conserve. My tyres were always, it seemed, way better than those around me, so that was one surprising thing from today. That was really good, but I used way too much push to pass at the start of the race, so yeah, I couldn't really get moving when I really needed to in the final stint. So that was what cost the win pretty much. If I had at least one straight worth of push to pass, then I could have all used it and gone for the decisive move. But yeah, just didn't have it and used it poorly.
Fair enough. And qualifying, do you have any thoughts on how that went?
Yeah, actually, I was surprised, to be honest, how well qualifying went with. I mean, there's a really strange track this time. Not too long ago, I would have felt like going beneath 115s would have been impossible, but I mean, put in a lot of effort this time around. and I mean, hard work paid off. Got down to 14.5s, and well, I mean, I still lost out to the likes of Jake and Eoin there. They were just insane in qualifying, but I was happy to qualify P3.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, do you have any thoughts for Jan? Who are you back today?
I'm gonna slightly shift a little bit here. I've dragged in Jukka-Pekka Lalu as well, the other Super Venturi driver, and I'm gonna kind of aim my questions at both guys. P2 and a P8, another cracking result for the team, and I'd say, actually probably not today, just about, but doing a really good job of hanging on just about to the top two teams. What's your thoughts of the team going forward? You're both getting good results every time out. This is, I think, the fifth. Did we say fifth consecutive podium for the team as well?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really satisfied with how it's going this year around. I mean, I did say I was expecting top 5 finishes from this team, and I mean, I think we've delivered pretty well. And yeah, like you said, we're hanging in there with the top 3 teams. It's pretty nice. I can't say I'm dissatisfied with that.
What's your thoughts, Jukka-Pekka? Are you happy with how everything's going? Obviously, just a little bit off Jan today, but still a really solid result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jan is just something else. It's really difficult to keep up with him. It's sometimes even in a way difficult to have a trust that races will go well when in the practice I'm miles off from Jan's pace, but yeah, the season has been going really well. I have just always tried to maximize the results. Even today, it was proper battlefield out there, and just tried to keep my nose clean and play my cards correctly. And I think I managed to maximize the result once again pretty well, even though the pace wasn't amazing.
I definitely agree about playing the right cards. We actually caught quite a few times on stream where you were thinking about certain moves. You could see that you were half tempted, but thinking better of making some moves, especially into the likes of turn 4, where sometimes people get a little bit too overexcited. Whereas you could see you definitely have good head on your shoulders, thinking about the team points. And another fantastic outing for Super Venturi. Thank you both for joining us for an interview. But I think it's just about time now that we move on to, I think I fancy bringing Eoin Mogyoród in. I'm not sure about you, Eoin.
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah, P4 for the pulsator. So it makes sense that he wants to come in if he wants. Yeah.
Just dragged him in. Fantastic result today, Eoin. What's your thoughts about the Grand Prix? Obviously difficult after qualifying, dropping a few positions, but still got to be satisfied, surely.
I'll probably be satisfied tomorrow, but not at the moment. I didn't think I drove well at all. My tyre wear was all over the place, and once I got damage from I can't remember when, I just got understeer everywhere, and my front left was absolutely shocking, to be honest. I couldn't even take the hard 17 laps without struggling.
That's interesting. I thought you were going aggressive your entire way on. You were going under the sort of usual strategy of the guys who got on the podium, with the exception of Tom. So yeah, that. Did you know where the damage came from?
I would assume I know I got a little bit from contact with Tom when he undercut me and I was going around the outside of turn 2. But I don't think that did anything. But then I'd assume it came from when I was battling Morris and I was just getting stopped at every apex.
Yeah, I see. But yeah, do you want to describe your Paul lap time as best you can? It was very, very late, but a fantastic effort that certainly shook up Denahan. Any thoughts?
I'll give it an honest review. Sector 1 was pretty good. I think that was almost perfect. And the middle sector, I know I was pretty close to track limits, cutting turn for the fast left-hander, and then the chicane I started braking way too early, took too much curve, and lost about a tenth and a half. So it could have been a 0.1, which is way better than what I could have done in practice. And then I missed the apex at the end of sector 2, but I think sector 3 was a PV as well, which was pretty good. I wasn't expecting to beat Jake in quali because he was constant. I think his PV was about two tenths, almost 3 tenths quicker than mine, and I guess he just couldn't hook it up.
Yeah, very well said. Ryan, any closing thoughts?
No, I think you covered everything. Actually, one more. Are we expecting to see you back in the seat anytime soon in Super League?
Well, that was my last reserve drive, but maybe I'll stop doing super lights if I win the championship. I know I'm like 70 points ahead, but anything can happen. But maybe I'll get a primary seat if I want to replace anyone, but it's not really my decision.
Well, it's happened before. I recall Liam Duval doing it in 2020, I think it was. So, yeah, maybe we'll see you for the back end of this season then. But thank you very much for joining us for an interview, and I think we're going to drag in one more person before we close off today's broadcast, and that'll be Reuven Machete.
Hello.
Welcome, Reuven. I'm sure you have a lot to be proud of with a top 10 finish. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, I mean, quali was quite a struggle. I didn't get the lap time in. If I would have been the best lap, would have been a 14.6 or 0.7 for me. But I didn't get it, so in the end P50, which was, yeah, where I was quite mad, but yeah, race went well, had good pace, some good overtakes. Yeah, my tire wear was actually quite bad. I wonder still how I managed to do the free stop. And yeah, I mean, in the Constructors' Championship, I think we beat RSR by some points, so it's good.
Yeah, indeed. So the final stint, was it more aggressive? You were thinking there are some openings if I get my tire choice right and go for it? Is that what you were thinking?
Well, I think, I don't know, in the end, maybe I should have had pitted one lap later, or saved a bit more tires, because I could have, I maybe could pass Thomas Harvey, but his pace in the end was really, really fast, so yeah, and also I don't want to pass him because I don't want to that Schlüter is getting past him and then past me. So it was quite hard to think what is the right call in the end.
Yeah, I suppose it kind of balanced itself out in the end, and yeah, you should be satisfied with the haul of points. Ryan, any thoughts for Reuven?
I think you've touched all bases there. Thank you for joining us in the comms box for a little interview. And that's pretty much us done now. Just a little bit of mop up. Thank you, as always, to our commentary broadcast team. Eoin stepping in for the missing Caitlin Penny this time round. Unfortunately, Caitlin won't be back again in Spa either. She can't make this one. Maybe we'll have Eoin, maybe we'll have Ed Hunter, who knows. We'll work that one out in 2 weeks' time. And thank you, as always, to our broadcast director, Szymon Frelik. Another fantastic night on cameras, constantly feeding us information in our ears. Really appreciate it, as always. And we look forward to seeing you all in Spa in 2 weeks' time. Thank you very much. Over and out.
Bye-bye.